Okay, so here we are back, and the dough has been resting and rising for about an hour now. We're going to do this the fast way, and sometimes I let it rise for 2 hours and then I can bake it pretty much right away. And this time I've let it rise for an hour. I'm going to knead it, and then I will let it rise for another hour when it is shaped, and then I bake it. Okay, so here we go. And first of all, I'm going to just put a little bit of my regular rice flour mix number 1, which is a blend, which is in my all of my books. The how to make the flour from scratch is in all of my books, and this bread recipe is in different forms, is in all of the books as well, because it's so good. So here we go. I put that onto the floured surface. And the recipe and all of the ingredients are in each one of my books, so you can follow along. Basically, you mix the rice flour mixes. You keep them on hand to bake anything you like. And then you make, for bread, you make a dry yeast mix, which is in the book. And then you follow the directions as I've just been demonstrating here. And so here, this is how easily this kneads, as you can see. Just give it a few nice turns there. Usually I do this on a counter, but thought we'd use the kitchen table today. So spread that out, and now this usually makes a couple of loaves with the 4 cups, so I'm just going to cut that in half there. So there I have 1 loaf basically ready. So I need to give it another little bit of a knead. Around nicely. And then to make 1 loaf, I turn it over on the underneath side and I pinch this so that it, now you can make any shape you like, but this is like one of my favorite shapes. It's a little bit like a French loaf. Like if you make it round like that, that's a farmer's loaf, and then I make the stripes, or I make a French loaf by making it a little longer. Making sure that's nice in there. Nice and long. There we go. And then to get a nice twisty shape, what I do is I just take it like that and I twist it like that, and it gets sort of a nice little Frenchy shape. And then I make my stripes along like that, and because it rises out of the cracks, so along there. So now that I have the loaf nicely shaped and scored, I just put it onto my parchment lined baking sheet there, ready to, and let it rise. And I'm going to show you a few other things that we can do with the other half the loaf, because this dough will make a few different things. So now suppose I was going to make pizza. So all I would do is I would roll the dough out nice and thin, however thin you like. It makes a thick crust pizza or a thin crust pizza. It rolls out beautifully, as you can see. And remember, this has no eggs. Full of nutrition and fiber. There, so there is a nice little pizza crust dough, which you can then put your own toppings on. I have recipes in my books, and lots of times I bake this on a pizza stone. If you wanted cinnamon rolls, you could then put your fillings on there, roll it up, cut it, and go from there. And there's another video of me making cinnamon rolls online, which you can have a look at in more detail. And now, suppose we'd like to make some rolls. So we just knead this back up again and give it a good knead. And there we have a little log, and I'll cut it into my roll shapes. Now we like to make a roll, so here we'll just form this around and roll it into a nice ball and have the upper surface nice, and then just there, a nice round sort of a roll, set it on your thing, and then just give it a little couple of scores across the top, let it rise, and there's a roll. Now suppose you'd like to make some bagels. Well, that's just a roll with a hole in the middle, and that's easy because you just roll it into a ball like that, stick your thumb and finger like that to get the hole, roll it around like that, and there you have a nice perfect bagel. So what you would do with this though is you would boil water and dip it in the water for about 30 seconds and then take it out, and then you would bake it. So there's a bagel. And now suppose you would like to make some crescent rolls. So I'm just going to knead this out nicely again. Give another dash of flour here. My rice flour mix does everything practically. And rolling pin, and now I'm just going to roll this out nicely. So there we have a nice thin roll. And we're going to make 4 crescent rolls. So I'm going to cut them like that. And I have some butter over here, and I'm going to spread some butter on each one. I'm going to take from the outside and roll it up like that, and there you have a little crescent roll. And another thing, some people have asked for a recipe for elephant ears or Newfie bread, or it has different names. It's like a bread dough that you fry on top of the stove, and this dough will work really well for that. Just shape it and put it in the pan and cook it on both sides. Okay, there we are. We have several different shapes, so I'm going to put these on my parchment paper. I'm just going to bake the bagel as it is, and there's a roll, and the crescent rolls, quickly shaped there. This is fun for kids to do too. This is almost like Play-Doh, gluten-free, that they can eat and enjoy, make their own pizzas, have a pizza party. It's just a lot of fun. So there, I'm going to just let that rise for another hour, and then I'm going to bake it. Well, here we are again, and the bread has risen, and it is baked, and it is a gluten-free, egg-free loaf, and we've made a lovely loaf here, and the buns that you saw earlier, and I'll just take this. This is a nice bun with which could have been a bagel if it had been dipped in the water first, but it's just a bun. Now I'm just going to cut it in half here and show you how nice and soft this is. And now, isn't that beautiful inside? You could spread it with butter and cream cheese and it would be delicious, and I think I could almost take a bite right now, but before I do, I'd like to tell you that all of the recipes are in my books, and many, many more, and the health and nutrition contains an encyclopedia of foods that you can eat, their nutritional values, and things to watch out for, as well as special gluten-free baking terms. So I hope you'll go to the website at www.glutenfreetrina.com and have a look and download an ebook. Here I'm just going to spread some butter on this wonderful bun here. I can hardly wait. Fresh, still warm out of the oven. And absolutely delicious.